Hello guys, in today's video we're going to create a fully customizable Coca Cola slider in Angular. That means that you'll be able to use this slider in your own projects with your own content. Now let's switch to Visual Studio Code and start creating this beautiful slider. Okay, here I have a basic Angular application generated by Angular CLI, and also I run NGS to build this application. Now, as we can see in the browser, there's nothing, just the demo content here. What we have to do now is to go to app component HTML and to remove everything from here. That's it, save. And now I'm creating a component here, running this command ng gc components slider. That means ng generate component in components folder and name it slider. Now we have that here. Okay, in our app component here, I'm going to call this slider app slider here and save. Now we have this slider works. Okay, that's the first step, just to set up our project. Now we're going to this Coca-Cola website, uscoca-cola.com/store, and to check this slider here. Okay, now we have to analyze the slider to see what we have to create. As we can see here, we have 3 slides on this slider, and when we click on one, these two collapse and this one expand. The first slide has its content. It has a background, it has a title here, some description, and call to action button here. Also, as I can see here, we have some kind of logo, which is going here instead of title. And now we are going back to Visual Studio Code to create the first slide here. And here, open slider component, delete this slider works, and add a class slider. So we have a slider here, and now we'll add slides. So first slide, this content of the slide. As I'm going to loop through the slides I have here, I'll just create the first slide to see what we have. Okay, this slide will have a content wrapper. And that content wrapper is something that will hold these here things. Okay, and we have a content div here, and inside that content div here, I'm going to add image. That's going to be our logo. Okay, we can add image with the class logo. Okay, and we have to add some title here. This is going to be title, and we'll add it like h2 with the class title, some title. And what we have now, we have a description. Okay, we have description, paragraph, and we have this call to action button here, which is actually a link. As you can see down below, that we have a link here. So it is actually anchor link. I'll call it a CTA. So it class CTA, and now I'll just add something like click here and some description, and just let us see what we have here. Okay, we have some title, some description, and click here. Now, basically, this does nothing, but what we have to do is to go and to add some real content here and some styling. Okay. What am I going to do right now? Here in the slider component, I have to create some content here because we will loop through that content. So I'll add sliders, actually slides, and it is array of objects. And now in objects, I will add a title, actually logo, as a string. Now I will add a title. After that, I'll add description. And we need some background here. And as you can see here, as this has two backgrounds here, as you can see, one is when the slide is expanded, and the second one is when it's collapsed. You can see the two images or two backgrounds are changing. Okay, so we'll add also two of them here: background expanded and background collapsed. Also, we'll add that call to action button content, call to action text, and we'll add call to action link. You see here. Okay, and what can we here see here is that these contents have different colors. As you can see here, it is white, and when you collapse it, it is black, and it is white here. So we have to add some styling also. That means that we will customize that, and we can add here, let's say, text color, also string. So let's say that we have everything we need here, and as we have 3 slides there, I'll just duplicate this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 times the same thing. Okay, here, let's add the content. I'll copy this title here. I'll copy the description here. Description here. Okay. Here's the description and call to action text. Shop now. We are not going to copy that. Let's say shop now. Shop now and link. Okay, I'll add a link to my website. Okay. So there's a link, and now we have to check, do we have these things applied here? We have to loop through this. Okay, here, as I said, that we are going to loop through these slides here. I'm going to use the following. So I'll say ng4 equals let slide of slides. So it means I'm going through every single slide there and getting the data from it. So in the content, I'll add slide title here. Slide title. And here slide description. Slide description. Here I'll use slide call to action text, this one here, and also I'll put a link here. Call to action link. So we have these basic things. Now we have this slide here. Okay, there's the first slide with the data inside. Now we have to get this background and to add a background to check that we have it. Okay, what can we do here? I'll right click here and inspect. As there's a lot of images and content here, I'll show you a trick. So we can go to network tab and we'll just click here to images, then reload the page, and it will show all the images on this website. Okay. Now we just have to check which image is the one we are looking for. Okay, this is mobile, and now we are looking for desktop version. Okay, this is desktop expanded, and now we just copy image URL here and paste it here. So background expanded and background collapsed. We need to find the same one for where's it first? So there is no image. One. I cannot see it here. Maybe it's not loaded. Let's try with the what is. Okay, as this is expanded, let's say desktop collapsed. I will check, do we have it? Or just to try. Mobile collapsed. Strange, we cannot see it here right now. Here it is. Okay, we'll copy that URL. I think it's the same. Yes, it is. Okay, now we have a background as well here. And now we have somehow to add these backgrounds to our slides. What can we do here is at our slide here, we have to select that background here. So, stylings. Now let's see, we'll use dynamic backgrounds instead of going to CSS and styling these items and doing some tricks. We can call styles here with a style that background image and say equals. And now take a look at this. Usually we'll have to add URL here to say URL. Like this. Then to add plus sign and to add slide background collapse, actually background expanded, and then we'll have to add again plus and to add the bracket, and I think that's it. Save it and we should get a background here. Yes, we have it here. So this is one thing we can do here, but as I don't like this syntax here, we're copying these things. what can we do here? We can just add, this is basically a trick. We can add slide, background, expanded here. Okay, and now go here, and instead of URL here, we can say URL. Okay, I'll add backticks here. Oops. URL. And that's it. So we get the same result, but now we don't have to add this long, you get it. So there's no need to add a URL and everything with the strings and the things. We just did that here. Also, we could add this dynamically if you are curious about it. So it is just, let's say that we, for testing purposes, const, we don't have to add const here. Let's slide image test equals the string of this. Okay, and what can we do now here is just to say like this and slide image test. So if you are thinking about is it possible to have this dynamic instead of again doing things, and you see it is here. So now for this tutorial I'm not going to cover that. I'll just remove it and save it like this, and we have this slide again. Okay, this is one, and the second one will do the same. So just add a backticks here and add this as URL. Okay, now we have these backgrounds here. Okay, as this is basically that, and we have nothing as we have here, as you can see, we have to do some stylings on this particular slide. So I'm going to SCSS and say okay, slider, and inside the slider we have we'll just do some stylings of the slider first. Okay, I'll say width, let's say 100%. I'll say height, it's for 540 pixels. I have to say that I inspected this slide before, so it is 540 in height, and I'll put it here. Also, actually, I'll add max width to 1440 pixels, and without padding. Oops. 0 pixels, and we'll add margin also 0 pixels. Margin 0 pixels, and display flex. So as our slider will have a content and be a flex, and flex direction will be a row. Okay, and we'll add just overflow hidden. That means that everything, if something goes over this, it will be hidden. And we'll need that for animations. Okay, now we have this slide here, and it looks as this one here. Also, we have to do some stylings to the slide, so to some particular slide when it's not when it's collapsed and expanded. So we are going to do that next. Okay, I'm going back here, and I'll say, as you can see, I'm using SCSS here as a styling. Okay, slide. So this is a single slide here, and I'll say okay width, as we are going to use width of the image we have there. So the image we say, okay, expanded. As we can see, the image is 946. We'll add that here, but I'll show you if you want to have this dynamically. So it is 946 pixels, and we can check that now. Okay, we can see here that this 946 pixels here. Okay, and now we have to add, actually, just let me check something. Why is this small? Is it small like this? Here it's not. It's almost double. Now 46. Okay. I'll add width here instead of this. It's not going to work, so that's not a problem. Okay, we'll check during the process of creating this slide. Now the width, we have added the width, and we'll say that the position of this slide is relative. Let's first add other slides here. Okay, I'll add this and this as well, so we'll have a complete picture of what we are doing right now. So this is basically not going to work like this. Let's say we have a Coke, this one here, and it's expanded. We'll copy this image URL and add it here. Okay, I have prepared these two for us, so we're going to through the same process as here, and I'm just going to copy these to save your time here. And now I'll just copy these two objects, which are the same, with the pre-filled data. Okay, now we should see the content. Okay, we have the content here, and we have all three of these with the same width. Okay, now we are styling the components. Okay, as we have added the slide, we are going to the single slide here. Okay, and what we have to check here is what's going on with this slide. Actually, as we inspect, okay, we can see that 936 is width 936, so it's basically like that. A slider, class slide. Okay, content, we have content. Okay, let's add some other things here so it will fit. Okay, I'll add position relative here because we want to include these. As you can see, we have overlay here on these slides that are collapsed. So we'll have also to add position relative here and a single div with a slide with an overlay here inside of these slide. So I'll say here in content wrapper, it's not the content wrapper, it's a slide. I'll add a div with a class overlay. Okay, it's overlay, and we have to go here, and also because it's a relative, we have to add another one and to say so it is inside the slide. We'll say okay, overlay, and that overlay will have a background its position is absolute. Absolute, that means it's absolute on this slide up, and we'll say top 0 and the left 0. So it will just fit to the start of the slider. Also, we have to add width 100% and height 100% as well, and the background. Okay, we can add the background color, RGBA. RGBA is RGB alpha, so we can add just 000. Okay, it's 3 zeros here, and we'll say 0.7. So it's 70% of black transparency. So we can see here we have like this. We'll just add a bit less. Okay, it's 0.6 or even 5. So it's a bit better. Okay, now we have three slides with the same width. And now we have to do some stylings also. I'll add to every single slide. Let's see. We have okay. We have these slides as here, and now I'm going to this overlay and added everything. And now we just have to add the index. Index is 1, so it's above the other elements on the slide here. And why we need this, you'll see really fast. Okay, let's say now we have a content wrapper. Content wrapper, and that content wrapper will be also flex, and we'll align items in that content wrapper to the center. Align item center, justify content center, actually flex start. So what we are going to do now, we have to align these items to the center and to the left side. So I'll align, I'll justify content flex start, and I'll say that the height would be inherit from the parent element. So now we have this still, but you'll see the difference really fast. So if I say content, and our content will have a padding, and we have here's the padding. We have padding of, let's say, about 35 pixels to 40. Okay, we'll add 35. Okay, we have padding 35 and width. So width of this content here with information is 250 pixels. I checked it before. So width is going to be 250 pixels. And now we have to add also display flex here. Flex direction column. And we'll say justify content center. Okay, and we have to check for results. We have still nothing here. And why is that happening? Let's see, content wrapper. Slide content wrapper, content. Okay. Content. Let's add some background to see if we are getting the correct elements. Okay, we're getting it. We have to add height. Okay, now it works. So this cannot be, Flex cannot just center content without the right height. So it doesn't know what is the height of our element to put it in the center. So the bug was here. I haven't inherited the height of 540 here. Why am I doing this inheritance here? Because if we change the height of this slide, let's say 400, I want to every single item follows that height instead of just going one by one space and adding again that height there. So we are getting it back. And now for now I'll just hide this, just to be able to see what's going on here. Okay. And now let's see, we have everything here. We have to do some stylings here as well on this slide and the content. Okay. And now I'm going to the code, and we have a content wrapper, we have a content, and we haven't styled anything here. What we have to do here is to add the logo. Actually, logo we can add later on. We have to add title. Okay, we have title here, and with a font weight of this bold here text, but the font we have here and the font we have on our website, they're not the same. So we're going to check the fonts on Google Fonts. Google, and here I'm going to search for, actually here is Open Sans. As we can see, the font is the same as here, so it's Open Sans, and we are going to use light 300 and regular 400 and also semi-bold 600. I'm going to import this into our styles here in Angular. So I'm going here in style CSS, importing this font, and I'll say here HTML and body will have font family Open Sans sans serif. It means we want open source or any sans serif font if this is not working. Now we have to check our website. Okay, we have a new font here, like the one here. Okay, we have finished that part. And now we have to say that our font weight is going to be 600. And also, what we have to do now here is to add margin of 0 pixels. So we don't need any margin, and font size of this is not like this one, it's a bit smaller. Let's say that font size to RIM and the Z index too. So we are adding a Z index because of this. To explain, we have added a Z index of 1 here to this overlay, but here we are adding 2 because we want this. Let me see. We want this content to be able to be above the overlay we have. You get it? So the content has to be, the title has always to be in front of the overlay if it's collapsed or expanded. So that's it with the title. Now we have to add the description. description, and in the description, font weight will be 400, some kind of default. So it is. And let me just check padding and the width of this. Okay, we have everything here. Flow hidden, flex. We have slide, width, position, relative height, border. Okay, we don't have this. So it's overlay, absolute position. We have a content wrapper. Content wrapper is flex, it's center, and flex start, and the height is inverted. Okay, there's an issue. Now we have it as it should be. So I just missed the dot here. Okay. Now we have a description, and we have to add a call to action button. CTA, and we'll add to that CTA border radius. Radius 30 pixels. So we want to have this border here around like this. It's 30 pixels, and we have to add a background. Let's say red. Now it is, and we have to add color of text. Let's say okay, white. We have to remove this text declaration. Text, okay, text decoration none. Now, and we have to add some padding here. So let's say the padding will be 10 pixels. Okay, well, what am I adding? I'm adding 10 pixels to up and upper and down margins here. I'm just adding padding to the top and the bottom of 10 pixels, and I'm going to add so 10 pixels, and I'll add let's say 40 pixels from the size on left or on right. Okay, you get it. Here it is. And now what we have to also do is to say that this is okay, and this is it, and I'll just say that we have a font size of 12 pixels. 12 pixels. Okay, 12 pixels, and the font weight could be 600. Okay, so it is strong here, text, and this doesn't look like this we have here. And why is that happening? I'll tell you in a few seconds. Let me just add some logic here, because we want to hide and to show the content and to apply this active and inactive slide here. Okay, what we have to do, I'll add here a variable that will be a selected slide or slide index. I'll put it to 0 here and I'll say active slide index. Okay, to just recognize it. Active slide index, it is 0. So now here in this slide, I'll say the following. We need also to add, okay, I'll format this with prettier, and I'll say here, let's add class f active conditionally here, and I'll use ng class from Angular and say, okay, I will apply if this okay, active class is going to be here if I, which we have to add here, index, let I equals to index of the loop. So it will just get the index of the slide it is going through. If I equals to selected, okay, active slide index. Now if it's true, we'll get the active class here in this slide. So now we are able to do some things. And also we have to somehow tell the Angular that we selected that slide, actually that we clicked that slide. So I'll add a click, and the click is going to say, okay, active class, active slide index equals to I. So we'll just interpolate the data we have here. On click, I'll just add that selected slide. We could also add a function here called set active slide that will receive a number and set this active slide there. But we can do that from here. Just on click and add it here. Now we have them, but we don't have any functionalities here as well. So we can just check, is the class applied here. So let me check this. We are still having this overlay here, but this slide is active. If I click on the second one, we can see that this one is active. If I click on third one, we can see the third one is active. So now we are switching between slides. Let's say switching, but we are not doing anything right now. And here I'm going back to code, and what we have to do right now is the following. Okay, I'll add here something different. And here it is. We have a slide, and that has div with a slide. Okay, this is active slide. But we want, if this slide has active class, to do something differently. So I'm going to here down below. Okay, at the end of this. So here's the end, and I'll say end active. So if this is active slider, I'll add for now background red. Okay, just to be able to see. But this is not because I have a background. Let's say color of the text. Okay, that is, as you can see, when I click on it, it gets the color of the red. So that means that our class works and our logic works. So that's basically it here. And what we have to do, as these slides are changing their width, if we click on it, or hiding if we haven't clicked. So we have to do some different logic here, and that's what is confusing here for me when I'm doing this, because I already did this while preparing this tutorial. So I have to go to the slide here, and actually to set things that have to be when the slide is collapsed, actually not expanded. So we have to look these here, these two here, and we have to do the following. Okay, we need these overlay here, and we'll do the following. Okay, we'll put a background color and everything, and we'll see if the slide should have a width of 247 pixels here, and that's the width of collapsed image here. So when we were checking the images here, when we find collapsed one, that collapsed has a width of this is not that it has 247 pixels width. So we are going to use that width here. Also, I'll show you how to add these things dynamically. Okay, you can see all of these are 247 pixels. What can we do right now? If you would like to have some dynamic width of these images, so you're not following that ones, we can comment this line, and we can add the width, let's say 20%, and let's say background size is cover. We want the background to cover entire div here, and we can see here we have the same result, almost the same, because it's going to 20%. And why am I adding 20% here? Because when we add this slide that is active, we can say if it's active, you can add width of 60%. And why am I adding 60%? As we have 3 slides, and always one is expanded and 2 are collapsed. These 2 have 20% width, that means it is 40%, and we are just missing 60% to have full width. So this one is going to be 60%. And now you see, when I click to another one, it expands. And I click this one, it expands. So we are getting that result of hiding and showing the slide elements here. You can see. Okay, and this makes sense right now. And now I'll just comment this line and these 2, and you can have it in on the GitHub when I put the code. But I'll add some comment here also. If you would like to have okay, so you'll know that you can just uncomment these 2 lines, and also I'll copy the same one here, and I'll say okay, I'd like to have this images dynamic. Oops. Just uncomment the following line. Okay, and now I'll add a width of expanded element to it is as I checked, it is 946 pixels. Okay, and I'm just going back to the top, and let's check what we have. So we have that. Okay, now it works like expected. And now we have to do some other stylings when the element is active. If element is active, we have added that actually if the slide is active, we have added a width, and we have to say that this okay, I'll say this overlay is display now, so we'll hide this overlay when it's active. Right now, okay, we have that. Also, what we have to do, we have to add some kind of animation here. So I'll say okay, here transition, and let's say all elements is in out with duration. Okay, just one trick and point here, as we'll add a lot of these transitions here to the elements. I would like to have some kind of unique transition time somewhere. So I'll go to the top and add some variable in SCSS, and I'll call it let's say and add 1s. Okay, this is transition duration, and we can use this variable across this file. So when we want to just adjust the transition time, we can just go here and change this, and it will go and apply to every single element that has transition here. So we'll add it here, transition duration. And now we have to add also transition when the element is showing here. Overlay, okay, doesn't matter where. And also I'll add opacity here. Opacity 1, and we are going to opacity 0. Opacity 0. Okay, so let's just check why it's opacity not working. Opacity. Oh, as we have here this display none, it's not possible because it just hides. So let's see like this. Okay, you can see there's the result. We have it right now. Okay. Now we can remove this for now, and we can change this duration to 0.7 seconds, so it will be a bit faster. Okay. Now we get it. So I've added also when the element is showing to just not disappear here when we click. You can see the transition. Okay. Okay, that's it for now, and we have to add some other stylings here. As we have finished with this overlay, I'm going to add a content wrapper. Okay. Content wrapper, and we have to add a content, and we have to go to reverse the logic here. We don't want to have this content here when the element is collapsed. As you can see, now we have everything here. See, but as here. But following this example, we just need a title here. So we're going to do the following. I'll just say that display none. So it will be not rendered. And now here, when it's active, we'll say display block. So you can see here, we don't have it. And now I have to do the following for a title, and actually I'll have to do this. Right now we're hiding everything, but we don't want to hide everything. I'll do the following. Okay, in the content, I'll add a logo, which we'll add later on, and it will be, we'll have position inherited, and we have to add a title. That will be position related. And we'll have to add some stylings also, but we have to go to the title and at the top and to say, okay, we have everything here with the title, but let's check. Okay, this content display is flex, and we are going to show this, but we'll hide the description actually. Now I'm description, and I'll say display none to description. And instead of doing this here, I'll go to the description and say display block. And now we have the titles here. You see? And what I have to do right now is to adjust the size of the title. And when it's expanded, we'll add let's see, okay, text font size, and font size is going to be 2.6 for IM. Okay, so that's everything here is happening when the element is expanded, or actually when the element is active here. Okay, you see this title is right now here. Okay, and this one here. But we have to do some more adjustments here. Let's say that we want to change the color of the slides. So as we have added here text color here, you can see text color here, and this one has a black, so we can just keep it like this, 0, and these have a white, but we haven't applied these yet. What we have to do, I'll go here to this slide, and I'll say that this style color is going to be slide text color. So in the content, I'll add style color, which equals the slide text color. Okay, and now we'll get, you see, we have the white text here, we have the white text here without a title. You'll see, you'll check why. And now we have black content here. The only issue we have here is because we had black and it should be white here. How can we do that? By going to the CSS here and saying OK, active. This is happening when it's when the element is active. But we want to say if the element is not active. So we'll add some other thing here. So and you can just add it here. And oops. What's going on here? Okay, sorry. And I'll say not active. So when the slide element has no active class applied, I'll say the color of the title so the title color will be white. Okay, so that means if it's not expanded, as you can see here, the content is white. Also, what we have here, we have this shop now button still, and we don't need it there. So we'll say that when it expanded, let's see, call to action. Why am I missing this dot all the time? Okay, call to action is going to display. Okay, this is going to be inline block, but we have to hide it there. So as you know that we are doing the things you know that everything we are doing up is just when the element is collapsed, yeah, and when it's not, we're adding the things. Now, as you can see here, okay. Also, what we have to do now is to add some transition to these slides to have some life here. What can we do now is just to the slide, go to the slide, or the slide, here is slide. We can just add a transition of everything. So it's just, let's say, transition all, which means all properties. All properties. An element, so with height, everything, and opacity is going to be like easing out, and we have that transition duration. So let us check that. Okay, we have this beautiful effect of sliding in and out of these elements. So let's check on their example. Maybe it's a bit faster than ours, so we can change this by just changing it here. Let's say 0.5. And let's check it. Yes, that's it. Now we have these things already here. We have to do other things here. This button, I don't like it. It should be like this one here. And how to fix that? We have to go to the call to action button and just let's check something here. Call to action button, and we have everything set here. We have border radius, background color, padding, width, and display none. And also we should creation center right, and we have to change something in our content here. So it is content. Okay, and our content. Here we should do something. We should say that it is display block instead of display flex. Okay, so we are adding it block because the flex is stretching everything here, and if we add block, we'll get it like this. Okay, it's not stretched anymore. So we have our call to action button here. What we also have to do to this button, we have to add some styling to hover effect here. As you can see here, we have this pointer cursor, and when we hover, the background of this is lighter. Okay, how to do that in our code? We have to do the following. Go here to this call to action, the main call to action button, and we'll say okay and hover. Where it is? And hover, and we'll see when somebody hovers that call to action button, the cursor will be pointer, and the background color will be lighten. We'll use the function of SCSS here, and we'll add the red, and we'll see the amount of let's say 20%. And let us check that. Okay, let me see what is happening. Let us add more just to be sure that it's working or not. And you know what was the problem here? The problem is because this button has no, let's see, z index. It's a bit strange what's going on here. The issue here is because overlay is not, we are not able to do anything because this because of this when it's active we could add to z index 2. We'll just remove this. I'll just remove this overlay for now. Okay, and when it's active overlay, we'll say just, where's the overlay? Okay, I'll say display none. Yes, that's causing the issue. Okay, we'll fix that. Active and the index should be 0 or -1. So we don't have to add anything, we'll just put it back. Okay. Okay, and now it works. So as you can see, we have this, when the element is active, we just pulled that overlay to the back. So we don't have this display none, and we have our styling with the opacity transition. You can see that. Okay. And let us check. Okay, and the point here, I have to point something. As you can see, we haven't applied still this background image when the elements are collapsed, which is causing an issue here because the elements are looking a bit confusing. So we have to add that logic as well here. So let's say that if element is active, we'll set, okay, here, and here it comes the thing I told you with the stylings. We haven't used this this approach. We would have to add everything with the strings, and you know, the code would look messy. And now I'll just say, okay, if index is or active slider index equals to I, then we'll use background expanded, otherwise background collapsed. So that means if we have active element, slide is going to be the slide background is going to be expanded, and slide background otherwise it is going to be collapsed. Okay, and I can just change here. I can just do the following because of the code consistency. Okay. Oh, okay. Just have this comparison, all consistency in this comparison to active index is equal to I. Okay, here. Now you can see the pictures, and here as well. Okay, and also we have to do something here, and when it's not, let's check if we have added okay, we have font style here. Okay, let's add this logo here, and looking at this here, we need this logo here, and the logo we can just copy image link, and here I have to add a logo. Actually, I have added it here because I copied the object, but here's the logo, and we have to add that image also here. So source is going to be image, slide image, slide logo actually, and the alt could be slide title. Okay, just to have that. And now I'll just style this and add something here. Let's say if ngIf check, because let us check before this. Okay, you can see what's going on here. We have our application is trying to load some image here because we have added image, but we have it here, but we don't have it here. So it is trying on every single slide to get that image, and we haven't added logos here because we don't need them. And what we have to do, I'll add ngIf, so to check if there is slide that logo. So if there is a slide logo, we'll load it, otherwise we don't. Okay, and now you can see here we have it. Also we want to do this the same for a title, so we can just check ngIf. I'll just copy this, ngIf slide title, and we'll add a title, show the title. Otherwise we are not trying to show anything here. But the title is not the problem because it won't just load. It will just add an item to the DOM. Okay, and we have to style this logo here because it's a bit bigger than it should be. Now, if we inspect this element, we can see that image here is width 175. Okay, we're going to add that to our title, content title. We'll add the logo, and say with max width 175 pixels. So it can be smaller, but it cannot go over the 175 pixels. So we have it here. Comparison. We have it here. They have it here. Okay. And as we have added these things, these buttons dynamically here, you can see we currently have shop now, shop now, shop now everywhere. But if we take a look at their side, we have a discover button instead. So we can make it easier, as this is fully customizable. Now we can just add here content, say discover. And that's everything we have to do to add that here. Okay. So this is their slide and this is our slide. So we can click and there's discover button. There's shop now button. Also, we are changing the text and everything here in our slides dynamically. Now I'll just check something else if we have everything added here. Okay, we have transition, we have buttons. There's a bit stacking and freezing, but doesn't matter. Okay, and we're just going to compare the final result we have with their final result. As I can see, everything is here. We have this, we have that, we have everything here. And let us check just a bit code to see if we missed anything here. Okay, we have description, overlay, content, okay, content wrapper. Okay, maybe we could just move this overlay to the content itself. So it's content and to be in everything here. Okay, I will just have to move it also in the slider component. Content. Okay, description. And it's active. We have to go to the content and to move this to. Okay, here. Okay, it's working back. And now just let's check it here. And overlay, okay, we'll move it here in the content. So title, call to action, hover, and below the call to action, I'll add overlay. Okay, it works. And also I have to fix something here. If you noticed that this logo is going below the overlay. So we have just to say to the logo here to add, let's say, the index of 2, just to be above. Okay, and now it's above. There are some slight differences between this one and the original one here. For example, these buttons, I haven't added them, but you can add them really easy. So we just want to lose some time adding these. Also, what I haven't added here, a styling for the logo to be up, because I don't see any kind of need for this. If we are going to reuse this component, they put it just by the purpose here, because as you can see, on this photo there is a blank space above, and they just put this here. We could do that by adding, for example, here in this object of slides, an extra key, and to say logo position or text position or everything, and using that, let's say bottom, middle, or top, and using that object key we could just arrange items or titles to be centered or bottom or top as here. So I think that's basically it. As I promised, I'll put this code on GitHub, so you'll be able to use it and to reuse it as well with your own content and your own images and everything you need. So be aware that you can change the images and the content and put it to be fully dynamically with the content size of the images actually. And I have to say, just if you really liked this video, if you found it useful for you, and if you would like to have to see more content of this type and everything, you can just follow me on YouTube, and you can put your comments in the comment section and ask for everything. If you want to recreate something or let me create something for you that could be useful here. And also I'm putting every single code from now to the GitHub, and you'll be able to use them when I create something. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching my channel and following me and everything. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.